Ahoy toy, welcome to Transfixed. Tonight I want to just kind of run something by you guys. I have recently taken the plunge to subscribe to the DeAgostini Build the Millennium Falcon magazine and kit. Yes, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but please don't tell my family because it's kind of expensive. But it's been great so far. I got one shipment. My first shipment was the first 3 packages actually, which is 8 issues, and this is pretty good. It starts off with information about the Falcon, and then it goes on to other ships and other issues, as you can see. And then there's a bit of information on one of the planets that the Falcon has visited, and then in the back there's some behind the scenes stuff, which is very interesting to me anyway. I enjoy seeing how the props and art and film and everything came together. And in the back, of course, there is, well, this gives you a preview of your next parts and the assembly instructions. And what's really nice is that it's all molded in color and weathered and painted for you, which I like because I suck at that. But I know how to do it though, so for some parts I am adding some paint, even though I thought I wouldn't, because it actually gives you some helpful tips on how to do it as well. That's pretty cool, and it's, my only recommendation is to read these instructions as you're building it if you do this, because it's quite helpful. And because it comes in sets with each shipment, it's important to know how far you should go. For example, it will warn you sometimes not to glue things together, and it tells you when those steps are coming up. You know, it says just hold on for now. Basically, you can, in some places it says you can do this, but we don't recommend it yet. Other places it will say, you know, just don't glue this together yet. There's more pieces coming. Stuff like that. Anyway, so that's very well done. What you really want to see are the parts. So here's the main hold. This is the couch, the seat, I guess. And I learned from the magazine that this seat was made from clay, basically. They sculpted these cushions. They're not real plush padded cushions. There's several pieces to put this bunk together, which is over... Oh wait, no, I have it handy here. This was in 2 halves, and then the cushion parts were separate. You will need super glue to put all this stuff together. The screwdriver is included. It comes with all the little screws you need. It's even magnetized. This is a piece on the sprue. I haven't taken this off yet. So you can see it's painted, but you're free to add the details on there. This goes over here. See, it just snaps on there. You don't even have to glue most of the stuff together if you don't want to, but of course you probably should. And the exciting part here, of course, is the cockpit. This is a beautifully detailed cockpit. It's very tiny though. I didn't expect it to be this small. The ship itself, by the way, is huge. When it's going to be finished, it will be enormous. It gives you a 1-to-1 scale printout, not printout, like a blueprint poster, and it's about the size as of the toy that was, I guess, the most recent toy. You know, that fits the 3 3/4 figures. I have it actually behind me, so I'll show that in a moment. But this is already mostly assembled. I haven't glued in the seats. I put a bit of a wash on these two. And here's the die-cast metal control pieces it comes with, these yokes and these 2 little throttles here. And then there's these plastic bits that plug in here. I've done a bit of weathering, just some dry brushing, very basic dry brushing on the cockpit there, to bring the, sort of just to pick out the detail on instrumentation. This is a sticker. Because this is curved, I clamped a pen to this just to let it form its shape, you know, because I didn't want it popping up. Although the adhesive seems pretty good, and I'm really droning on too much about that kind of stuff. Cool thing is it has lights inside. This is a sticker that goes on top here, and then the door is a separate piece. And then later on, you're going to have some electronics, and then these LEDs will plug in here to light up the instrumentation. You can see there's cutouts for that, for the light to come through. And it will also light up the rest of the cockpit with that light. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that there's some people are going ape nuts on this stuff too. I mean, you know, adding their own lighting in the other places probably, which is what I try to do with the bigger toy. Well, not great success. Gosh, I wish I could show you the LEDs, but I set it up for display today and it stopped working. Let me show you that now. Anyway, this is just the extra parts I'm working with here. That's not the screwdriver it comes with, by the way. So this is really nice. I recommend it if you can, well, not to sound snobby, if you can afford it. I probably can't, but it's over $100 a month. But what I mean is, if you have some disposable income and you love the Millennium Falcon, I think this is the best model you can get. It's got some upgraded details from the what was the last one that did one? Not EFX. I think Master Replicas put out a studio scale one some years ago, which is very expensive on the aftermarket now. And they found that the model they based that on had some pieces that had fallen off it, so they went back and fixed everything up. So as of now, this is the most accurate Falcon you can get. The scale is this, because I forget, and yeah, it's based on the Empire Strikes Back filming model. Anyway, the reason for this video is just to show you a bit of what it looks like. I was thinking about doing a video like this as I was putting it together, so I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner, and then I would have had the packages to show you and everything. But what I want to know is anyone interested in seeing more of this? I was just going to build this quietly by myself, but if anybody's interested, since I kind of do these sorts of videos, but if anybody's interested in seeing more of this as it goes together, do you want to see it built? Do you want to see it just step by step once in a while? Or are you not really interested? I'm just putting it out there just in case, before I get too far along, in case anybody wants to see it. By the way, it has a metal frame. This skeleton here has been screwed together already and then screwed into the plastic there. So it should be pretty sturdy. And here's the die-cast metal Dadara table. It's going to go in here. So pardon the mess, but here is my Millennium Falcon toy, which I just set up on the fridge next to my workspace here. So as you can see, these are the 3 3/4 inch figures, and the model that I just showed you is going to be about this size. It's just that obviously the cockpit is much smaller because everything's more in proportion. So you can see in here I have cut the door out and placed a paper printout that I made of the corridor in the back there. And then over here, I haven't done a lot here. I painted the instrument console and some of the details, like the black wiring there and the metallic wiring, just those parts there. And then this floor panel pops out. That's part of the original toy. All I've done here is just I put in some, there's supposed to be a blue LED down there, and then some pipes and detail and stuff, which I made out of drinking straws painted silver. You can see the blue LED right down in the middle under the grate there. And the grate is just what's that from? From window mesh or something. But yeah, for some reason this stopped working. The sounds still work. Oh, I think that's running on battery. That sounds terrible. And then down in here, I didn't really do anything in here. There's probably some wiring here. Yeah, you can see some of the wiring. I had to take this entire thing apart in the garage, and it was quite an ordeal. And then if we go down here past the scanning crew, you might be able to see in the back there, between the two landing gear there. So you can see right back here, I've got a USB cable plugged in there, and this wire this is where it gets the power from. There was a switch in here. Well, there is a switch there, but the super glue but the hot glue didn't hold it in place, so it actually got pushed in last time I was trying to use it, and I've had to open this up again. And if we come over here, this is the power adapter, which I hooked up, but so this is supposed to be powering the unit, but now I can't remember which polarity it uses, and maybe this thing is to blame. I don't know. Let's hope so. Down below here, you can see some of the wiring. I had to cut some of the holes to fit the wiring in there. I'm sloppy, right? So I also replaced these LEDs with orange LEDs. I think these are supposed to give some landing lights. And then when this is down, these lights are on all the time. They used to just flash on with one of the effects, but I made it so that I rewired it so that they stay on all the time. The cockpit light was supposed to be on all the time. And these. The only thing was when I tested it as I was building it, or rebuilding it, whatever you call it. But for some reason, once I got it all together and finished, it was drawing too much power. These running lights were on all the time, so I found I had to dislodge one of these to loosen it up, so that with these two lights off, then had enough voltage to power everything. Otherwise, if both of these were plugged in, the lights were dim. So it was kind of funny, in a wanting to kill myself sort of way. Now the sacrifice I had to make is over on this side, where the see this was supposed to be an escape pod. This opens up, and instead of a ramp there, you get this escape pod, which I actually like. It does match the Falcon's design very well. I mean, if it had such a feature that it was supposed to be in the movie, or if I could accept it as canon, I would accept it, because the design is quite good. The seat inside kind of matches the seat from the games area there, and the canopy, sort of in the spirit of the main canopy. I like it. I accept this. You press this and it launches the missile from underneath there, but I don't want to do that. So anyway, that doesn't fit in there because this has got wiring in it now. Probably somebody with more skill would have done a better job. This lights up and makes sound. Oh, it's gone yellow. That's too bad. So anyway, yeah, the model is going to be the same size as this, but with details that will be in scale. And it does have a cutaway section. And it has, I don't know if there's lights in here, but there's lights in the cockpit, which is, just beautiful. Oh, it has a light up engine and the headlights, or running lights, whatever. So I think that's going to be good. Oh, I also have here the gun. This is all die cast, although it had to be put together with some screws, and honestly it needed some super glue. But I've been instructed not to install this just yet, because there's more stuff to do. You can see the difference in scale here. So yeah, it's amazing that it's going to be this size when it's complete, but with the proper proportions. I think that's pretty cool. If I get this thing working, I will show it again. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching.